juste going to monter un peu ma voix. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Où est-ce que je peux monter ma voix? À gauche? Ok, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Ça monte l'ambiance, mais pas ma voix. Side tone. Bas. Attends. Ah oui, 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 ok. Ah, c'est ça, c'est effectivement ça. Pardon, je suis aveugle. C'est bon? Ok, moi j'ai même pas fait un essai. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Ok, bon bah parfait. Et tu veux qu'Asamoah parle un peu aussi? Ok. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Il arrive.
Yeah. Yeah, I can. Oh, yeah, I'm here. Okay. It's gonna be a very, very great final. You know, as you can see, everybody. Nice. Thank you.
Hi, Andreas.
Africa, hola! Le mobile mzarona. Zokhuluma ngesilungu. Okay, quickly. Today, it's a very special day in the history of South African football. We want to welcome Wydad Casablanca. Let's clap hands for Wydad Casablanca. We want to welcome Masandawana from South Africa. Hola Masandawana. We also want to welcome the president of football in the world, the president of FIFA, the president of, is here with us today, Gianni Infantino. Hola Gianni. The African Football League today we want to show the people in Africa, we want to show the people in the world that football in Africa is as good as football and is amongst the best in the world. Hola football in Africa, hola! This competition, part of the African Football League, is to put more money in the pockets of the football players so that they can look after their families and build a future based on more prize money. Hola, my players, hola! I am now going to ask the president of FIFA to make quick remarks because this is a country that loves football. We've got a proud history of football. Let's clap hands for Gianni Infantino.
Hola! Hola South Africa! Hello South Africa! So this today is something big. Get ready for it. Good luck to Mamelodi Sundowns. Bonne chance, Wydad Casablanca, Dima Maghreb. All the best to football in Africa. Today there will be one winner, but you, the African public, have already won. The fans of football, you are the winners. African football is the winner. World football is a winner. Thank you very much. Enjoy the game. All the best. Bye-bye.
Welcome to the Loftus Versfeld Stadium in Pretoria for the second leg of the African Football League final. It's Mamelodi Sundowns of South Africa against Wydad Casablanca of Morocco. Wydad, who come here after a 2-1 win in the first leg last weekend. Fantastic atmosphere building in the stands, in the sunshine here in Pretoria today. And there we see it, 33 degrees, blazing sunshine, very hot conditions, and they'll be playing for that trophy at the end of the day today. A packed house inside the Loftus Versfeld Stadium. Superb atmosphere. We've just had speeches from the FIFA president, Gianni Infantino, and from Patrice Motsepe as well, who of course knows Mamelodi Sundowns very well indeed, and this Sundowns team. The Brazilians who made it to the final by eliminating Petro de Luanda of Angola in the quarter-finals and then edging out Al Ahly in the semis. Wydad, well, they saw off Enyimba of Nigeria in the last 8 and then got the better of Espérance of Tunisia on penalties in a dramatic semi-final. Before that 2-1 win in the first leg in Casablanca last weekend before a packed house of Wydad supporters and a decent travelling support who've made the long journey here to South Africa today to back their team as they aim to add another continental trophy to their large collection. Sundowns, the reigning South African champions, former CAF Champions League winners themselves, and now looking to win the inaugural African Football League, the first edition of this new competition, of course, featuring 8 teams this year. It's been a terrific couple of weeks of football across the continent, and it all wraps up today here in Pretoria. Who will come out on top between Mamelodi Sundowns and Wydad Casablanca? Delighted to have the former Ghana striker Asamoah Gyan with me today for this one. Asamoah, you've been watching the action throughout the last couple of weeks of the African Football League, and what a game we have on our hands today to finish things off.
What a game we have on our hands today. It's going to be a great day. You know, we've been following African Football League, and today is here, and then we are here to see the champion. And it has been very great journey for all the teams that participated, and I can't wait for the commencement of the game.
Yeah, well, the fans can't wait either, and certainly a huge crowd inside the stadium today, and these fans having to protect themselves from the mid-afternoon sunshine. This game being played today, and it avoids a clash with a massive game in the South African domestic calendar last night, the Soweto Derby between Orlando Pirates and Kaizer Chiefs, which drew a crowd of 80,000 for that particular game, and a crowd of, well, in the region of 50-odd thousand here for this one today. Playing for the trophy, the African Football League trophy is there, and of course at the end of this afternoon one of the 2 captains will be lifting it, and let's see if Sundowns can overturn a first leg deficit today and make the most of their home advantage. There are the Wydad supporters who have made the long trip across this great continent for this game today, and the Wydad supporters who've seen their team come through a couple of ties in contrasting fashion because they were far too strong for Enyimba in the quarter-finals, and then they needed that penalty shootout to get the better of Espérance in the semis. And we might have penalties today, remember. If we are locked level at the end of extra time, then we will have a penalty shootout. Away goals in play too. How important will that Sundowns goal be from the first leg? The penalty, of course, from Abdelmunaim Boutouil, which briefly brought Mamelodi Sundowns back level in Casablanca last week before Anas Serhat got the winner. A terrific game last weekend, Asamoah, and we will see the starting lineups in just a moment, but a number of key absentees for the 2 teams today, notably in the Wydad team. The skipper Yaya Jabran, the Moroccan international midfielder, is suspended, but his place will be taken by Serhat, the man who got the winning goal last weekend.
Yes, Jabran is a huge blow for Wydad. You know, he's been very instrumental. He's playing the captain's role, one of the experienced players, one of the best players in the team. It's going to be a very big blow for Wydad, but I'm sure the coach has done his homework. He's going to work on it, and although he's been used to him playing, and this is the final, the most important game, and we lost him. And I think the player that replaced him, Anas Serhat, also came on, made an impact, scored an incredible goal, important goal, and I think the confidence of this Wydad team is very high, and they cannot afford to lose this game. They won 2-1. They are here to prove a point.
So the teams are in the tunnel and ready to make their entrance onto the field here, the Loftus Versfeld Stadium. Mamelodi Sundowns in their traditional yellow shirts and blue shorts. The Brazilians And Wydad Casablanca in their white with red trim. Out come the teams onto the field for the second leg, the decider of the inaugural African Football League final. Two clubs who are used to getting to the business end of major continental competitions, Mamelodi Sundowns and Wydad Casablanca.
The official anthem of the African Football League.
Yes, it is a repeat of the CAF Champions League semi-final last season, which Wydad won on away goals before going on to play Al Ahly in the final. This Sundowns team who defeated Al Ahly in the semi-finals of this competition. And now looking to overturn the deficit today. We'll take you through the starting lineups then. Mamelodi Sundowns making a considerable number of changes from the first leg, 4 in total, and a couple, might say, enforced with, we saw Grant Kekana, the central defender, come off just before half-time in the first leg. His fellow defender Rivaldo Kotze drops out of the team as well today, and Lesiba Nku is another one who drops out, as well as Tapelo Maseko, who's been outstanding in this competition but doesn't start today. There are first appearances in the African Football League for Lucas Ribeiro Costa, the Brazilian, and for Peter Shalulile, the Namibian striker, the prolific forward, whose return is very welcome indeed for Sundowns.
Yes, Sundowns team has been very, very good in this tournament. You know, obviously Williams starting from goal, the best goalkeeper so far for me in this tournament. Maseko is rather unfortunate. I think he had a bit of injury in the last game. He limped off, and then they were able to replace him. Today, if you see this team, you could see it's a very, very organized team. It's going to be very, very attacking team today, and Rolani Makwena has worked with these boys. He knows how to manage these boys. And hey, as we said earlier, I can't wait for this game. Complete team. Everybody is here to battle it out.
We see the VAR officials today. Kenya and Tunisia. We have a referee from the Democratic Republic of Congo, Jean-Jacques Ngambo Ndala, is in charge of this afternoon's game. And the Wydad Casablanca team, we touched on it before, just the one change from the side which started the first leg a week ago. Yaya Jabran, their influential Moroccan international midfielder, is suspended. Anas Serhat comes in, otherwise it is unchanged.
Yes, Jabran is one of the experienced players. You know, he's a huge blow for the team. Serhat came, as we said, he was able to get onto the game very quickly, scored an important goal. His confidence level is high. There'll be much expectation from him, but I'm sure the players are going to support him. The coach is giving all the confidence in the world to make sure that he can deliver also.
Well, we are ready for the action to get underway, and we'll see which of these two teams handles the conditions better. Very different to the first leg last week in the evening chill after nightfall in Casablanca. Come to Pretoria today, and it's more like high summer here in the Southern Hemisphere. We'll be underway in just a moment. Off we go then. The winner of the inaugural African Football League will be decided here today. It's the second leg of the final. Mamelodi Sundowns and Wydad Casablanca, the Moroccans leading 2-1 from the first leg on home turf last weekend. Sundowns, of course, a formidable force at home. Let's see if they can make home advantage count today. In the sunshine and temperatures of well over 30 degrees in the shade. Sundowns team who didn't concede a goal on their way to the final, helped by a couple of penalty saves from that man, the outstanding Ronwin Williams. Were beaten twice last weekend in Casablanca, including an own goal from Rivaldo Kotze, who doesn't play today for the home team. And let's see how the changes in central defence impact upon them. Let's see how the return of Peter Shalulile helps them in attack. They have so many options up front. Can't expect them to dominate possession. Their distinctive brand of football, so impressive, of course, under Rulani Mokoena. Wydad, with their great experience of playing such big matches, continental level, will not be fazed by the atmosphere here today as Sundowns come forward. Tembazvane, the captain, giving it to Teboho Mokoena. Lovely turn by the midfielder. That ball drilled in and behind for a goal kick. Mokoena, of course, one of a cluster of South African internationals in this Sundowns team. So much experience in this Sundowns side. But Asimo, we touched on it before. The changes in attack today means a different setup, really, in that front line for Sundowns. Tembazvane will play a different role, perhaps, to leave the space through the middle for Peter Shalulile.
Exactly. You were talking about Mokoena. He's been very, very instrumental. He's somebody who has been controlling the midfield since day one. And the strange thing I've observed in this game is, Sundowns has never put water on the field. When they went away, you could see the Africans were putting water, to make sure the passings be very fluent. And I think tactically they're also saying, okay, we're not going to put water and we'll see how you're going to pass. And I think it's been a bit problem for Wydad.
Yeah, the little details which Rulani Mokoena certainly picks up on, looking to gain the advantage in every way possible for his team. They're on the ball again here. Svane just playing right up alongside Shalulile at the moment. Lucas, the Brazilian, is offering the width on the far side. Interesting to see how he gets on today, his first appearance in the competition. There is Adil Ramsey, the Wydad coach, who was appointed in July of this year. Played notably for PSV Eindhoven in the Netherlands. Fine career in Dutch football. And the latest man to take charge of Wydad, who've had some big-name managers in recent years, not least Walid Regragui, of course, who went on to take charge of the Moroccan national team at the World Cup with great success a year ago. Here is Lucas. Shalulile in the middle waiting. Lucas with a lovely piece of skill. The referee has a look. Big appeals for a penalty from the home fans here. The referee does, of course, have the backup from the VAR team. Looks like he's given this decision against the Sundowns player for diving. Well, the flag came up anyway, and there will not be a penalty, much to the disappointment of the Sundowns fans. Brilliant piece of skill, Asimo.
Yeah, brilliant piece of skill. You can see he did what he had to. No wonder the fans love him there. And obviously he's back into the team for some strange reasons to start this game. I think it was a bit too early, but hey, they have confidence in him, and as you can see, great skill.
Yeah, well, that's why the flag came up. There was the appeal in the middle from the central defender. Felt that Lucas had just strayed ahead of the last defender when that ball was initially played. adding a bit of Brazilian flair to the Brazilians. They've got a real South American touch to their side, of course, these days, with Marcelo Allende, the Chilean, in the team as well. Gaston Cirino is on the bench today. There is no Junior Mendieta. He was sent off in that second leg of the semi-final against Al Ahly. Ball flighted forward, looking for Shalulile, and it will run through to Youssef El Moti, Wydad goalkeeper. Sense it might be a slightly edgy game. Wydad will try to keep things tight, of course. They've got the lead to defend, but everything will change. If Sundowns go 1-0 up, then suddenly the advantage will be with them. As I mentioned before, these are two teams with great experience of big knockout ties in the Champions League. Trophy that Wydad have won in recent seasons. They've been to finals as well. Sundowns were Champions League winners in 2016. As the challenge comes in from Mokoena, and a free kick is given Wydad's way to Bo Mokoena. Such an important presence in that Sundowns midfield.
Yeah. To be fair, Mokoena has been very, very instrumental. Very good midfielder, national team player, international player. He's got good technique, shot wide. He's got everything mostly. And as you can see, how this game is going, you could see. To be fair, Wydad has stood their grounds. They are playing what they have to do. You could see their tactic is working so well for them, and it's going to be very, very interesting. But as we said, Sundowns hasn't gotten their rhythm yet, like the way they possess the ball, as we see. But it's too early to talk about how this game is going to go. But hey, to be fair, everybody is keeping the game tight, more tactically, more cautious, and we'll see what happens.
It's been a very stop-start in the first few minutes here. Bo Mokoena, by the way, is one of 8 Sundowns players who've been included in the latest Bafana Bafana squad for the start of a World Cup qualifying campaign, which begins in just a few days' time. They play Benin in Durban next Saturday, and then a trip to Rwanda 3 days after that, the road to the 2026 World Cup beginning. And not a surprise that Hugo Broos, the South African coach, is choosing to lean heavily on the spine of this Sundowns team that has dominated South African soccer in recent years. The reigning champions, and flying high in the domestic league already this season, despite not having played a league game since the end of September, because they haven't dropped any points, and the rest of the South African Premiership struggling to keep up with them.
It's been great year for Sundowns. You know, the way Mokoena is playing, kudos to him. He's been very, very instrumental with their tactic and stuff. And you could see it's reflecting on the African Football League. You know, they can play international football, they can play locally, and it's an all-round team, and it's a very, very good team. We have this Sundowns team has been very, very great recently.
A fantastic team to watch, and here they are in possession again. Musa Lebusa, one of those who's come into the starting lineup today, sending that ball forward. It will be a throw on the near side. Taken by Kuliso Mudau, loves to get up and down. Mokoena playing that ball through, might just fall here. Svane picked up by Lucas, twisting and turning, trying to lay it back for a teammate, but again the flag had come up, and as we see so often these days, of course, the assistant referee delaying raising the flag to see how the move will ultimately pan out, and then eventually signalling for the offside. Different proposition for the Wydad defence today, with Peter Shalulile, the Namibian striker, in the Sundowns team, a player who we can look forward to seeing at the upcoming AFCON. Serhat works it out to the right-hand side, just a bit too much on that ball for Ayoub El Amloud, the Wydad skipper, hoping to be lifting the trophy at the end of the day. Allende. Oh, it's a loose ball. Immediately won back by the home team, and that's what they do so well, of course, amongst many other things. Flighted forward again by Mokoena. That one will run through to the goalkeeper. And El Moti is not in a rush to release it. You might see some delaying tactics as the game goes on from Wydad if the score remains this way. Boussefian. Score of a very important goal against Esperance in the semi-finals. Atiat Allah. Pass is intercepted, one back again by that man Mokoena. Expect him to boss the midfield. Modiba. Mudau. This is Lucas, who's come over to the near side.
Now Sundowns is beginning to settle in so well, and this is their style. You know, when you give them the chance to play, they're gonna play. And I know Wydad will sit back, you know, to make sure they get into the territory before they can be more aggressive. But this Sundowns team, as they are possessing the ball, you can see right now they can play.
Well, it's brilliant football from the home team. Mudau trying to drill it in low, and it's a really important challenge coming in, which will lead to the first corner of the game for Sundowns, but really excellent build-up play.
I think this is the mistake. This is the mistake Wydad just did. You know, when they started, they were just pressing high. They didn't allow them to play. But when they sat back, watching them to play, with a team like Sundowns, they will play. They will surely play, and that's what we saw now.
Yeah, lovely pass from Allende for Mudau, and it was Boussefian tracking back, sliding in to make the challenge. Sundowns tried to take the corner quickly. The referee wasn't having any of it. And he's restarting with a drop ball. Flighted into the 6-yard box and headed behind for a corner from El Bakri. Sharky El Bakri, who's come back to help out. Rulani Mokoena watching on. He's just 36. He is a young manager with a big future. Six Sundowns players in the penalty area waiting this delivery. It's again headed away by the Wydad defence. Well, the referee having to stop play here because there is Wydad player down. I don't think it's a head knock, but all the same, well, it is a head knock. It is blood streaming from forehead. El Bakri rising and caught by his own player there. Forearm here just above the eye, and that is always such a fragile part of the body. Of course, it does open up very easily. Yeah. He's going to have to get that cleaned up.
And Barry is somebody they needed him for this set pieces, you know, in the area to make sure defensively he takes all the ball. So you could see he's been following every ball. He was able to head the ball behind. They had the ball swing in. He was following because of his height, and they cannot afford to lose him now in this early stages of the game.
He looks a little bit dazed. A lot of blood there.
And the weather conditions will not help because it's very, very hot today.
Yeah, just as the weather is, of course, changing in Morocco. Getting into the winter, it's getting chilly. Come here to Southern Hemisphere, very different conditions indeed. It's one of the great challenges of African football, of course. Maybe compare it to Europe, where the journeys are much shorter, where the changes in weather conditions are often nothing like as great. Here, of course, changing conditions can be drastic for teams when they travel to away games, and It's an extra factor for Wydad to consider today. It's one reason why the away goals remain in place on the African continent, of course, unlike in Europe where they've done away with it.
Yeah. And I hope there should be a water break, depending on this weather. I hope the referees can take that decision. But it's been very, very hot, and he doesn't look for a player who has that cut in this kind of weather. He might feel dizzy or something, So we hope everything goes well.
We're not rushing to get restarted, and it is a chance for some of the players to take on some fluids as Sharky El Bakri gets that wound tidied up and the head bandaged. Playing today despite Bouli Junior Sambou being available again, the prolific Senegalese striker who hit 20 goals across the domestic league and the CAF Champions League last season. He is on the bench today. El Bakri leading the line for Wydad. See how long he's able to continue with this injury. And in the meantime, Boutouil, the Moroccan, playing against his compatriots, is waiting to take the throw for Sundowns, the man who scored the penalty for the away team in the first leg last week. Precious away goal. El Bakri does not look too clever there, has to be said, as he is taken off the pitch on the stretcher.
Because the players will be dehydrated, and it doesn't look good when you have blood flowing and everything, because of the dehydration. That is why you have players drinking water when it's hot, and there he goes. He's here to sacrifice for the team, and I'm happy to see him back on the pitch.
He was immediately off the stretcher, and maybe as soon as the threat appears of having to leave the field, he realizes that he's got to get up and get on with it.
Exactly. And that is where they should watch out, because definitely the referee is going to add like 8 or something minutes at the end of the first half, and that is where they should be more focused to the end of the first half.
We are underway again. Here is Mvala. Lebusa. Sundowns leaving plenty of players forward. Lovely control. Ball lifted into the middle, and it will run through to Youssef El Moti. One of plenty of players for Wydad today who featured in last season's CAF Champions League final. Wydad lost that to Al Ahly of Egypt. Missed out on the Moroccan title as well last season to FAR Rabat as Moussa Lebusa takes a knock this time. Well, it's part of the job being a defender. And it is a head knock with El Bakri. Well, that looks like a painful one for Moussa Lebusa.
That's very, very painful.
The ball kept alive. Foul. Shalulile has been a stop-start beginning to the second leg of this final. And now Sharky El Bakri getting into a bit of a heated discussion. The referee is just giving him a very strict telling off.
I think that is part of the tactics, just to slow the game, to make sure they don't get their rhythm, so it's part of the tactic, and it's working.
Yes, it has disrupted the home team as they win another free kick here. Again, it's Shalulile who is fouled. Understanding is that Shalulile could have played in the first leg of the final. He was fit enough, but they decided against making him travel to Casablanca for the game. The Sundowns players, of course, had been in Cairo for the second leg of the semi-final against Al Ahly. Shalulile wasn't involved in that. They went on to Casablanca for the first leg of the final. Now they've come back home, And they have brought Shalulile back into the reckoning. Great to have him fit and firing again. And he'll be one of the targets for this free kick. It's Modiba who's standing over it, Allende as well. It's going to be Aubrey Modiba to flight it in. It's a poor delivery. And a chance maybe for Wydad to break here. And the free kick is given. Haimoud, the player brought down, and since he was very happy to go down, Abdellah Haimoud, calling for the card to be shown as well. It all fits in with the strategy, I think, from Wydad at the beginning of this game. Slow things down as much as possible, disrupt the game as much as possible. Sundowns supporters are wise to it.
And it's been very, very frustrating for Sundowns this afternoon. You know, I think that is the tactic Wydad wanted to do. They just wanted to distract, as you said, they want to distract the game, not to have their rhythm. You know, so anytime there is a play, they have to do something to stop it, and it's working for them right now.
Two teams with great attacking quality, but two teams who are very strong defensively as well. Conceding just one goal between them across the quarter-finals and semi-finals. Here comes Sundowns. Boutouil with the ball in again. Big appeals for a penalty. Hopeful appeals for a penalty from the home fans. It was Shalulile who went to the floor in the box. Serhat. Mamelodi Sundowns 0, Wydad Casablanca 0. We're coming up to the midway point in the first half here. Albeit a lot of time already to be added on with the stoppages we've had, in particular for that head knock to Sharki El Bakri, as again Wydad win the free kick for the challenge on Haimoud. It's a previous challenge on Lucas Ribeiro Costa, and that was Boutouil catching Haimoud. Del Munaim Boutouil, the Moroccan defender. Nani Mokwena looking concerned, understandably. His team unable to really get into their rhythm at the moment, but they have the ball back again. Allende. Trying to force the pass through, and it's intercepted. The problem for Wydad is that they can't keep hold of the ball.
Exactly. They're having their defensive minded, and they're trying to frustrate Sundowns, because the way Sundowns play, they try to squeeze the ball in, and then they've closed the middle just to play on the counter.
Allende. Modiba feeding the pass through. Svane out to Shalulile. Peels out to the left. Whips the ball in. Cleared in slightly unorthodox fashion. And once again, it's back with Sundowns with Mvala. Temazvane dropping deep, leaving Shalulile and Lucas Ribeiro Costa up front. Temazvane again, the experienced South African international. Allende looking to get the ball into the box. It's laid off for the shot. It's well wide. It's really the first attempt at all on goal in this game. Nothing to trouble Youssef El Moti in goal. Did it take a touch on its way through off a Wydad player? I don't think so.
This is how Sundowns wants to play. They just want to squeeze that pass inside. They don't focus on the side. They just want to squeeze that pass inside. And when you allow them to do that, you're gonna get into trouble.
Allende again. Vala. Nicely taken by Modiba. Run behind for Sundowns ball. It's gone out for a throw on this near side. Adil Ramsey watching on. Former Moroccan international as a player. Featured at 2 AFCONs. Expect the current Morocco team to feature very prominently at the upcoming AFCON in the Ivory Coast. Again, El Moti taking his time and then sending it long downfield. You can see the share of possession in the first 26 minutes here, 65% for Sundowns. It shows you that they are on top, but Wydad were planning for that, I think it's fair to say. I'd like to see what percentage of the time the ball has actually been in play. As the assistant referee is cleaned out on the far side. Well, looks like he's able to smile about it. Assistants today from Cameroon and Mozambique. Allende. Again, trying to force the pass through, and Abdallah Haimoud is there to intercept. Allende again. Once more it's intercepted. Ayoub El Amloud it was who cut it out that time. It's all very scrappy.
I think Sundowns has to change something, you know, try to operate on the flanks rather than trying to squeeze that pass, because it's something that Wydad have seen. They've seen it, they try to close the middle, and they're still doing it.
Boutouil come inside, does do that quite often, Boutouil from the left-back position. Common feature of the modern game, of course, the inverted full-back. Moudou tends to offer a bit more width coming forwards from the right wing-back position.
Moudou has been excellent for this Sundowns team. He's been very excellent in this competition. You know, you could see right now when he has the ball, the fans love him. You know, he's somebody who is, his timing, his defensive work has been great. And for me, I think he can even be contested as one of the best players in this competition.
Yeah, made his Bafana debut last year. South African international, pretty much established now. Joined Sundowns from Black Leopards, that was in 2020. The VIPs today, we see Gianni Infantino, the FIFA president, Patrice Motsepe alongside him, and just behind him, Pierluigi Collina. Zvane, challenged by El Bakri. Frustration for Temba Zvane. Thought he might have been in a position to get the shot away. Musa Lebusa. Boutouil trying to switch the play. This time they're looking for the width with Kuliso Moudou. Allende, ball just running away from him. Risky defending. Picked up by Serhat. Let's see if Wydad can actually build something. Well, it's given away by Hisham Boussefian. Played into the middle. Shalulile was thwarted in his attempts to get on the end of that ball. Modiba, lovely footwork from Aubry Modiba, heading towards the byline. He appeals for a free kick. The challenge on him from Yaya Atiat Allah. Well, the Moroccan international defender was just shielding that ball, really, helping it run behind a player who featured at the World Cup last year, Atiat Allah.
And I'm so impressed the way Wydad has been very, very composed in defense. You know, whenever even they're in danger, they don't panic. They try to do what they have to do. They've kept their composure. They are not under pressure at all. And this is how an experienced team should do, and they are doing it so well.
Modiba again. Again, they look to play that early flighted ball into the penalty box from deep. And again, it comes to nothing. It's that knowledge that the Wydad team have of playing these sort of games. And think back to the semi-final of the Champions League last season in May, just 6 months ago. Sundowns drew 0-0 in the first leg in Casablanca, and then they came back to this stadium, to Pretoria. Sundowns were twice in front, each time Wydad hit back, and in the end it was Mutubi and Vala's own goal which made it 2-2 and allowed Wydad to progress on away goals. But it was a tie that was on a knife edge all the way through, and this one is pretty similar, really. You can feel the tension.
Yeah, you can feel the tension, you know, the weather condition, you know, everybody is anxious to see the first goal, how it's going to be like. You know, everybody's very, very cautious. Tactically, everybody is doing so well. And obviously the home team will like to do something more, but the away team, which is Wydad, has been very, very composed, confident, and they are just waiting, and you can see.
Well, it's up to Sundowns to force a way through this Wydad defence. Here is Allende, Kuliso Mudau again. Awful lot of the plays coming down this near side, and Vala to Allende. They just have to keep the ball moving. Bring Ronwin Williams into play, why not?
And he's also a very good football player.
Yeah, and he's flighted that ball forward early, and it might just fall here from Mudau. In the end, it comes off his head and runs behind for the goal kick, and great frustration for Kuliso Mudau, who apologises to the whole stadium, I think, for failing to make more of that. He would have been in.
I think that was a very, very good tactic from Roland Makwena, because they were passing the ball, the people Wydad thought they were going to do it, and then he has to play it behind the defense. I think it's a change of tactic they want to do.
Time then for a drinks break for some of these players in the heat here today.
This is what we spoke about.
Yeah, the difference is stark, because while it is still very warm in Casablanca during the day at this time of year, obviously in the evening it gets a lot cooler. And of course the first leg was played at night there in Morocco. Very different conditions. They've come here to Pretoria today and they're having to adapt, and they haven't had that long, of course, just a couple of days to acclimatise the Wydad players. This is a chance as well for Rulani Mokoena to pass on some instructions to his side. He's very animated there. Some words for his team. Adil Ramsey will be doing the same just along the touchline. There he is, speaking to these Wydad players. They're targeting another continental title, and they are the ones who are currently in the driving seat, Wydad.
Yes, they are comfortable. They are comfortable with the results right now, and obviously, as we said earlier, their health is very, very important. You know, the weather conditions and everything. Great call by the referee. This is what we were talking about. You know, he had a time break for the players to have a sip of water to dehydrate their body, and we want everybody to be healthy, everybody to go home healthy, you know, and so far so good, although it has been a bit frustrating for the home team Sundowns, but I'm sure we're going to have some trailer as the game progresses.
Yeah, the fans not letting the regular breaks in play spoil their enjoyment of proceedings today, and plenty of them very much enjoying the sunshine here. Still 10 minutes of the first half remaining, but I think we're going to get possibly another 10 minutes added on at the end of the first half at this rate.
I'm sure about that. We spoke about that, and definitely there's another break for water. So obviously, as you said, we're gonna get minimum 10 or 8 minutes.
Labusa, some good ball down the channel towards Shalulile, keeps it in play. Lucas Ribeiro Costa's waiting in the middle. Musa Lebusa setting off on a run, checks that run and come back here and build again. Vala. Beautifully left. Very important challenge, because otherwise that might have opened up for the shot. Maybe an opportunity for Boussefian on the break. Hasn't got too much to aim at in the middle. Sharky El Bakri was arriving, but up against two Sundowns defenders. He's landed awkwardly as well. He's been in the wars in the first half, El Bakri. And he's struggling to get back up here. It was just a collision with the Sundowns defender, but I think a lot of the Sundowns fans are very sceptical. I think they feel that maybe Sharky El Bakri is just trying to interrupt the play again.
Yeah, exactly. They've seen the tactic of Wydad. That is what they want to do. They want to just frustrate him, and I think the fans are also already frustrated. They saw him getting up and then went down again, and then they started shouting. You know, it's part of it. It shows how frustrated they are.
Yeah, well, that tells you part of the story as well. We've had just one shot on goal in this first half. That was the effort that was well wide for Sundowns. Sharky El Bakri is again on the floor here. I'm not sure what he's whispering to his teammate Ayoub El Amloud, but the referee is making the signal clear that any time lost here will be added on. The question is, do they need to make a change? Maybe El Bakri is not going to be able to continue. He's getting the yellow card anyway for the delaying tactics, and he's been told in no uncertain terms by the referee to get on that stretcher.
It's quite interesting. It's getting interesting. He's been booked a yellow card, and he cannot afford to get a red card, because the referee can make that decision. He's been shown the yellow card. They told him to sit on a stretcher, and he's still delaying. You know, so it's up to the referee to make any decision. And when you do that, you cost your team.
Well, he's pushed the referee to the limit, and he may now have tested his patience a bit too much. This was the problem. El Bakri only had eyes for the ball as he made the run into the penalty box. It was Lebusa with whom he collided, and now he's having to be helped off here, and we'll see this time if he gets up again when he is removed from the playing surface. They do of course have a perfect option to replace him if needed on the bench in Bouli Junior Sambou, the Senegalese striker. Sambou came on for El Bakri late on in the first leg, just around the time that Wydad got their second goal. Currently the away team down to 10 men, but El Bakri is back on his feet and is waiting for the signal to come back on the field again by the looks of it. He's been told to make the journey all the way around the pitch. Wydad will have to continue with 10 men for a little longer. Sundowns fans are getting frustrated with the spoiling tactics of the away team and of Sharky El Bakri in particular. It's working for Wydad at the moment. Allende. Svane. Lots of movement from Temba Svane. Pass is fed through in the direction of Shalulile. Collected by El Moti.
I think the Sundown team are missing Maseko so much. You know, he's been very, very instrumental in terms of attack. He's a player who does things individually, create a lot of chances, scored 2 goals so far, and his presence is missing. Last time he went off early in the game and they couldn't do anything offensively. So his presence has been felt in this particular game.
Yes, Maseko came off late in the first half, didn't he, in Casablanca? Scored that brilliant goal here against Al Ahly in the semi-final first leg. Mudau. Lucas with the hanging cross. It's punched by El Moti and then collected at the second attempt. Back with Williams again. Musa Lebusa. Allende. Toby Mvala. Allende is caught this time. Sundowns are eager to get on with it though, unlike Wydad. Marcelo Allende, the Chilean. Butuil. It's a good ball for Mudau on the near side here. Mudau's cross, an awkward one for the goalkeeper. Harkas completes the clearance. It's a bit better from Sundowns, putting the pressure on the Wydad penalty box. Now El Moti has decided to stay down here. Butuil just pinging that ball into the space for Mudau. Youssef El Moti taking any opportunity to stay down. The slightest of contact with the Sundowns player in the penalty box. It was Shalulile who was in close to him.
You cannot take anything away from this with that team. You know, they started, we understood they wanted to play some delaying tactic, and that is what they are doing right now. As we said, it's working for them. I urge Sundowns to keep their composure. They have to make their passing working, and their away team is cruising. You know, the tactic, everything they've worked for is working for them, and it's left with Sundowns to push the situation. You have to push the situation to make sure you get a goal, and then we see how they can react.
Yeah, I think we saw Rulani Mokoena a few moments ago. I think it was during a break in play when Sharky El Bakri was down, and the signals he was sending to his players, it seemed to suggest he was just trying to transmit that message. Keep your cool, remain focused on what you're doing, don't let them distract you. That's exactly what they want to do. He doesn't want that to become too big a distraction for his players. They've still got the time, and of course we're going to see very shortly how much time is added on at the end of this first half. It should be, I said 10 minutes before, I think it very probably will be about 10 minutes to be added on at the end of this half.
And exactly, we spoke about this. You know, when Mokoena has been very, very frustrated. What he has to do as a coach is to keep telling his boys to stay focused, to keep pushing. You know, they to focus on the way they play, and shouldn't focus on what the opponent is gonna do. And I think that is the message he just sent to them, you know. But at least they should try and have a shot on target. They should try and do something offensively, because they're passing, they're doing everything, but they haven't been that dangerous in this final. And as we said, Wydad came there to frustrate them. They came there to keep their results, and so far it's working for them. And right now, I don't know how many minutes the referee is gonna put as added time. I hope 10 minutes for sure, but I'm just gambling though.
Well, we should know in just a second. We're seeing plenty of pictures of the crowd, the fans enjoying themselves here today, including the Wydad supporters. There we see it, 12 minutes to be added on at the end of this first half. It's even more than we thought we might see.
Exactly.
Has been that type of game. It's never really got going, and that is exactly what Wydad wanted, I think it's fair to say.
Yes, exactly, it's fair to say. 12 minutes, as we said, it should have been more, but at least the referee gave the right thing, the right time. And now it's left with Sundowns to do something. You know, when you are playing football and the game keeps on stopping, it's quite frustrating. And that is what Wydad came to do. And it's working for them.
Modiba back the way to Mvala. Share of the possession has gone up to more than 70% now for Mamelodi Sundowns, but haven't been able to do anything with it. Another Wydad player has gone down here, and I think it's a question worth asking Asamoah as a former player who's, of course, playing at the highest level for such a long time. When you see so much time being added on, obviously there's a lot of stoppages in the game. The players are maybe not using as much energy as they might, but they're still using lots of energy, mentally as well as physically, and it must be very difficult to keep going for another 12 minutes. We're going to have a first half which is going to last nearly an hour, and then they've got to come out and play the second half.
Exactly. So, but it's quite frustrating. You know, they want to win the cup, they want to score goals. They feel like the game is not flowing the way they want to, and if it's going to be even 30 minutes, I'm sure Sundowns are going to push, because the game has been stopped, and they want to score a goal. And as a former football player, it's very, very frustrating when you are playing at home and then the away team comes and they try to stop the game.
Could be one of the longest games that any of us have been a party to, because remember, there is the possibility of extra time and penalties as well. So I hope that nobody has to go anywhere soon, because this one, it could be in it for the long haul. Decision goes Sundowns' way. Tembazvane to Mvala. Mokoena. Pass fed through for Allende. Mokoena continues the run forward. You can hear the noise of the crowd getting excited as Mokoena made the run, and he's managed to get the shot in, and this time maybe the goal comes in stoppage time at the end of the first half, and it's that man, Shalulile, following in after Mokoena, as he loves to do, got the shot in from range, and Mamelodi Sundowns draw first blood in this second leg, and the advantage swings their way in this final.
Great goal, great teamwork, and what I love about Mokoena, he was down, he stretched to take the ball to the left, and then the ball came on, and then they scored. This is what we were waiting for, a final and a crucial goal, and from an important player who was out for a while. He came, and then he proved he's the man.
Yes, the Namibian international Peter Shalulile taking the acclaim. There are a few players on the African continent who can do the job like he does in that penalty box. Mokoena, lovely first touch, got the shot away quickly. Shalulile was on the right side of the defender when the shot came in. He was onside and he followed in brilliantly. The great instinct of the poacher, something that you know all too well, Asamoah, how to do that job. And Shalulile keeping his cool to apply the finish.
Great finish by Shalulile. He saw one defender and then the goalkeeper coming to a 50-50 ball, and he was so calm, and then he chipped the ball. You know, few players can do that. He kept his composure. He saw everybody was bowed down, and then he chipped the ball over it. Great goal by Shalulile. That is why he's the man. That is why they love him. You know, he didn't play many games. He came and then straight to starting. They know the importance of this player, and then he's proving himself once again.
First appearance in the African Football League for Peter Shalulile. First goal for the man who was the joint top scorer in the domestic league here in South Africa last season. He was the PSL Footballer of the Year in back-to-back seasons before last season. He's his country's top international goal scorer. And that is yet another big goal in his career.
The record speaks by himself. You know, he's been instrumental within these years. You could see it's not a fluke. Anywhere he goes, he delivers. And on the bigger stage, bigger occasion like this, he has delivered once again.
Remember, CAF Champions League semi-final last season between these teams was decided on away goals. At the moment, Sundowns, who lost that semi-final, have the advantage on away goals in this African Football League final. 2-2 on aggregate. Sundowns got that goal in Casablanca from the penalty spot, and that precious away goal means everything to them at the moment. The Sundowns fans on their feet all around the stands here in Pretoria, and the mood in the stadium has completely changed, of course, from such frustration right up until that goal from Shalulile hadn't really been coming. We'd only had one attempt on goal in the first 45 minutes until Teboho Mokwena's effort was palmed out by Youssef El Mouti for Shalulile to turn it in. And Wydad's approach has to change now.
Exactly, and when you play in a confident team like Sundowns, they've been able to score. You know, you should be very, very careful. That is where they are very, very dangerous, and it doesn't look good for Wydad. Although they've been very, very defensive, tactic worked. Now there is a goal. Let's see how they're gonna respond to how Sundowns is gonna play now.
Lebusa. Allende. It's an excellent ball fed through the touch by Shalulile. Zvane. Well, the Sundowns fans are enjoying this. They are so strong at home, of course. Vala. Mudau. There's Aubrey Modiba. To Mudau again.
That's a brilliant play from Sundowns. This is what they wanted to do. If you allow them to play, they'll play. And secondly, they are confident now, and they can do anything at all. And that is where Wydad should be very, very careful. Wydad should focus and keep pressing, and then don't allow them to play. Because when you are playing with a confident team who knows how to play football, who is very, very good together with the ball, then you are in deep trouble.
Foul on Timber Zvane. Could Sundowns get another goal before half-time? Noise inside the stadium as Allende prepares to deliver the free kick here. Allende, who had a trial at Arsenal as a 16-year-old, by the way. Again, he and Modiba standing over this dead ball. The assistant referee is telling the two-man wall to not move a centimetre forward. Referee now spraying the line. Well, we've seen Modiba deliver the in-swinging ball from this side already in this first half. Will he take it again, or will it be Allende? It's a flight and out-swinging ball towards the back post. It is Allende. It's a good delivery, and it's headed over the crossbar. Rulani Mokoena like that one.
Sundowns are looking very, very good right now. You know, after the frustrations and after everything, the relief, now they are playing good football, and hopefully we wish they can score more. But hey, you might never know what is going to happen in this game. But they look very, very good. They look comfortable. Wydad doesn't look that dangerous, you know. So something might change. I'm sure Ramsey is going to do a couple of changes.
Yes, Wydad, I think, probably want to get into the dressing room now and regroup and come back out and approach the second half in a different way. Haven't been able to get Sharky El Bakri into the game in an attacking sense whatsoever. Ronwen Williams will happily lie down on that ball for a few seconds and just give Wydad maybe a taste of their own medicine.
That was what I was about to say. He was like, this is my turn now. Now we have the goal, and this is my time to also delay and see how it is.
Flicked on towards El Bakri, away though by Mvala. Here is Anas Serhat. We don't remember missing the calming presence in midfield of Yahya Jabran due to suspension today after his booking in the first leg. Superb play from Mokoena again. Driving forward and got to that ball in front of the Wydad player, and Serhat might be in line for a booking here. He is. It's the second one shown to a Wydad player this afternoon. Looked like that ball had got away from Thibaut Mokoena, but then he just reacted that bit quicker than Serhat. Man standing in for Jabran in the midfield. And wild swing at that ball, and just as well Mokoena has his shin guards on.
Yeah, that was a dangerous tackle, but I wouldn't blame Serhat. You know, he Mokoena lost the ball, and then he saw a free ball. He was trying to kick the ball, and then Mokoena did so well to just tip the ball, and it was a late tackle. Although it was a dangerous tackle, but it wasn't that with that wicked intention. He went for the ball, and then he went in late. You know, so good call by the referee and good decision.
Imagine it, Shalulile won the South African Player of the Year award in back-to-back seasons, and then he was succeeded last season by Thibaut Mokoena, Premier Soccer League Player of the Season here in South Africa, and well, he has been outstanding in this African Football League as well, hasn't he? Certainly played his part in the goal. As the free kick is flighted in, again it's headed away by the Wydad defence. We've gone beyond the allotted 12 added minutes. And now the half-time whistle does finally go. A 58-minute first half here in Pretoria. For the vast majority of that time, it was extremely frustrating for Mamelodi Sundowns, but then 3 minutes into added time at the end of the half, they got the breakthrough. Thibaut Mokoena's shot beaten out by Youssef El Moti in goal, and Peter Shalulile, their Namibian hotshot in attack, making his first appearance in the competition today after injury, was on hand to turn the ball in. And at half-time, it's Mamelodi Sundowns 1, Wydad Casablanca 0, 2-2 on aggregate, and Sundowns have the away goal advantage. Asamoah, your thoughts quickly on that first half?
Yeah, I think it's a fair result. You know, although the frustration and everything, it's a fair result. Mamelodi Sundowns kept on pushing, and then they got one goal. You know, what I have to tell Wydad should focus on playing and then not focus on time wasting. And now that the goal has happened, how are you going to approach the game? It's going to be very, very difficult for them to come back into the game. But I wish them well to make sure they make the game very, very interesting and then let the game flow.
Well, there are the half-time statistics, and you look at the Wydad statistics, it really tells you something. Not a single attempt on goal, not a single corner. They haven't been caught offside once. They've not been in that position at all. Sundowns have dominated possession. They'd had just one attempt in the first half until the move that led to the goal being scored in stoppage time at the end of the half. And that goal from Shalulile swinging this final their way. 2 yellow cards as well, both of them coming for Wydad. Sharky El Bakri and Anas Serhat have both been yellow carded. 73% possession for Mamelodi Sundowns. And all that possession didn't seem to be leading them anywhere until the goal came from Peter Shalulile. In a moment, we'll take a look back at the highlights of the first half. Packed house here at the Loftus Versfeld Stadium in Pretoria today. Superb atmosphere. And as ever, in big Sundowns games here, a sea of yellow in the stands. The Sundowns supporters turning out in great numbers and looking to see their team get their hands on the trophy. Well, the second leg of this African Football League final in the sunshine here in Pretoria. Mamelodi Sundowns trailing 2-1 from the first leg in Casablanca last week. Wydad with that advantage to defend. Unsurprisingly, they were happy to do so in the first half here, getting men behind the ball and trying to spoil the game as often as possible, disrupt the play and prevent Mamelodi Sundowns rather from developing any real rhythm. It worked for pretty much the entire first half. Didn't really see a single attempt on goal to trouble Youssef El Moti, the Wydad keeper. Did have to punch away that cross from Kuliso Mudau. But it wasn't until 3 minutes into added time at the end of the half that Sundowns struck Thibaut Mokoena with the driving run forwards, and then the ball again falling to him just outside the penalty box. Superb strike, stopped by El Moti, but Peter Shalulile following in to score. The Namibian striker appearing in this African Football League for the first time after injury, and the poacher's instinct to follow in and get the goal and send the crowd here in Pretoria into raptures. A huge moment in this final because it had been such a frustrating first half for Mamelodi Sundowns. Wydad leading 2-1 from the first leg, but that goal making it 1-0 on the day, 2-2 on aggregate, and Sundowns suddenly with the advantage on away goal. Shalulile reacting the quickest to that loose ball after El Moti's save from Mokoena. Mokoena, who collected the pass from his captain Timbers Vane, and Sundowns' quality finally shining through. Well, welcome back to Pretoria. The Sundowns players are back on the field and eager to get on with it, and their Wydad counterparts are arriving now. They're the ones chasing the game as we move into the second half, and well, you may have spotted a change is in the offing for the away team, and we are going to see Bouli Junior Sambou coming on, prolific Senegalese striker. Imagine he's going to take the place of Sharki El Bakri, the bandaged forward who suffered that head knock early in the first half and who spent much of the opening period frustrating home supporters, breaking up play, wasn't really able to get involved in the final third. It was a difficult first half for Wydad. Didn't really manage to create anything. It wasn't really their game plan. And as they need to try to change something now, Adil Ramzi is looking to Sambou as the man to do that. Look to get the likes of Hichem Boussefian more involved in the game as well. Huddle for the Wydad players. Two changes at the break then. Sambou and Boukra are on, and Latimi and El Bakri are off. Montasser Latimi we didn't see in the game at all in the first half. Confirmation that he has been replaced by Boukra. There is the number 30. And Bouli Junior Sambou. 20 goals last season across the Moroccan Botola, and the CAF Champions League is on as well, with El Bakri making way for him. So we're underway in the second half of the second leg of this African Football League final, and well, it's been gripping stuff so far here today, as it was in Casablanca a week ago. Sundowns frustrated for so much of that opening period until getting the breakthrough in stoppage time at the end of the half, thanks to Peter Chalulile's goal. They now have the advantage on away goals in this final. Wydad chasing the game, and Asamoah, the question is, can the substitutions change anything for the visitors in this second half? Bouli Junior Sambou and Boukra both coming on.
Yes, I think the substitution has been very, very good. That's what we spoke about behind the scene. You know, we spoke about him bringing offensive players, try to get a goal at least to make sure they win the cup. And as we said earlier, Sundowns will also be looking to score another goal, to be at the safer side. They cannot afford to concede a goal now. And how they started the game, you could see they want to put pressure, they want to score. And this makes it very, very interesting. The game is open now because Wydad has brought offensive players. They want to score a goal just to spoil the party. And I hope it's not going to happen. And I think it's a great call by Ramzi, the coach. And if I was him, I would have done the same thing. And now it's up to Sundowns how to manage the game well. Either they are scoring or either they are defending to win the cup.
I suppose the question is, Asamoah, because yeah, they brought attacking players on. They had attacking players on the field in the first half, but we didn't see them at all. I mean, El Bakri we saw back defending with the head knock and helping out at the back. Latimi we didn't see at all in the first half. It was very difficult for them to be involved in the game. So they had the attacking players on anyway, but now the approach really has to change, doesn't it? But then, as you say, that creates spaces and possibilities for Sundowns.
Yeah, exactly. So if they had scored in the first half, they would have brought more defensive players to keep the goal. Although because they couldn't score, because they couldn't do anything, they had to just change it and still bring more offensive players to see whether the team is going to do something. They cannot afford to concede a goal right now. They want to score to make sure they go back to their delaying thing, to make sure they keep their results, and that is what is going to make the game very, very interesting for now.
There is Budi Junior Sombu, Senegalese centre forward. He'll be 25 in a few weeks. It was a big signing for them last year. He came in to replace Guillem Benza, who moved on to play in Saudi Arabia. He filled his boots very well indeed. As we see the Sundowns starting lineup, they're unchanged in this second half, and a reminder that Shalulile came into the team today, as has Lucas Ribeiro Costa, the Brazilian, appearing for the first time, and it could be in again. Shalulile pouncing on the short back pass, couldn't make the most of that chance gifted to him. Youssef El Moti able to make the save.
That was a great chance. That was a great chance by Sundowns. They could have done something better about it, and they can be comfortable. But this is a very, very good chance, and yeah, it's one of those things. But it came at a very, very important time of the game that they could have do something better. But hey, it's part of football.
Yeah, Serhat it was with the ball back the way towards his goalkeeper. He didn't see Shalulile, who was lurking off the shoulder of the defender. I think it was Harkas. Got away from him, but you get around a goalkeeper.
But you cannot take anything away from El Moti. He did a great save. The timing was good, and hey, you cannot take anything away from him. Although Sundowns could have scored, but hey, Moti had a great save to keep the team back in the game.
Lonnie Mokwena, very animated in his technical area. Probably worth pointing out that from a Wydad point of view, we're stating the obvious, but of course if Sundowns do get a second goal, and Wydad still just need the one to force extra time, it'd still be very much in the tie in the final. Nothing would be lost for them completely if they were to concede again, but there does need to be that change in approach, as we see the goal once again. The shot from Mokwena, and this was Shalulile there to finish.
Great finish. And as we were talking about, all what Wydad needs is to get a goal. If they get a goal, everything changes. If they get a goal now and it's 1-1, then they are champions. If they get a goal and Sundowns score twice, then we have to go on a penalty shootout. So they are in a better position to manage this game well. It's either they score or they're out.
They're not going to panic, of course. They took the advantage into the second leg of the semi-final against Esperance. They lost that one 1-0. And then, of course, they ended up going to the penalty shootout on that occasion. The players they've brought off the bench here at the start of the second half today are players who have scored big goals in the past. This man, Saif Eddine Bukra, came off the bench to score in the first leg of the Champions League final last season. His ball into the middle, collected by Ronwen Williams.
And Wydad are also missing Latimi right now, a player who got the goal. He was able to destroy on the left side 1v1, and obviously he created a goal, although it was an old goal, but all the credit goes to him, Latimi. They are missing him right now in this Wydad team.
Yeah, that was the opening goal, wasn't it, in the first leg last weekend? The cross in from Latimi, and Rivaldo Kutse, who's not involved at all today for Sundowns, turning the ball into his own net. Udau. Svane. This is Marcelo Allende. Udau again. It's more positions really high up on that right flank. The ball fed through for Tembazvane. He couldn't make anything of it. Such a popular figure here, of course, Tembazvane. Patrice Motsepe, CAF president, in the middle. Gianni Infantino alongside him, and we saw Pierluigi Collina before, didn't we? The head of refereeing FIFA these days. Brilliant referee, of course. Once upon a time. Had such authority on the pitch, and that's important for a referee, isn't it, to be respected by the players on the field.
Exactly, the referee's been respected. He's been very, very vigilant on the field.
Well, yeah, then Sundowns could be in again. Another loose ball. They pounce upon it. There is that precious second goal that Sundowns wanted so much. You can see what it means to Rulani Mokoena. And the Sundowns players, the substitutes, the staff, all jumping on top of Aubrey Modiba. The crowd erupting again here. Another mistake by Wydad. They were not punished before when Shalulile was denied by Youssef El Moti, but this time they are.
And that was a great finish. That was a great finish by Sundowns. You know, he kept his composure. You know, just had to chip the ball. Just watch out.
Yeah, it was a really poor ball back the way, wasn't it? Aimed at Abul Fat. And Modiba, brilliant anticipation. And there is the cool finish, clipped over the goalkeeper and into the net. Aubrey Modiba making it 2-0 on the day, 3-2 to Sundowns on aggregate. A 28-year-old South African international who used to play for Sundowns rivals SuperSport United, getting one of the biggest goals of his career, surely.
And obviously, he's been one of the best players in this competition. He's been very, very instrumental. He's played every minute of Mamelodi Sundowns game. He was substituted last time, but hey, Modiba has proved he's one of the important players in this Sundowns team. And right now, when they needed it the most, he was able to deliver.
It's exactly what they wanted. The early goal in the second half after getting the breakthrough in first half stoppage time. This is not a scenario I think that we really foresaw as the first half was coming to a conclusion. As we moved into stoppage time at the end of the first half, nothing was really happening for Mamelodi Sundowns at all. Wydad's spoiling tactics were working for them. Now the scenario is very different indeed, and Wydad are chasing the game. Remember though, one Wydad goal and we will be deadlocked and heading for extra time. Exactly,
and what we said is a confidence team like Sundowns, even under pressure, the way they play, and just imagine when they have confidence, it's gonna be a very, very long afternoon for Wydad.
Well, let's see what they can do here. Atiyat Allah with the pass. Bukra is playing on the left-hand side since coming on. Hisham Boussefian is on the right flank for Wydad with Bulu Junior Sombu through the middle of the attack. Have players who can score goals. The question is, can they create chances? They haven't created anything yet in this game at all. We've been playing for, well, nearly 70 minutes in reality, given the amount of time we had added on at the end of the first half. They could be in there.
And that is what we should be worried about. As a coach, that is what you should worry about. When you are creating chances and you are not scoring, then it's good for the coach. The coach can be happy. You say, oh, next time we're going to do this. But when you don't create chances at all, if I am the coach or any coach at all, will be worried. And that is where we're lacking right now from this with that team side. So they have to just lift up their game, make sure they create enough chances, you know, because they have players who can also score goals.
Wydad have not lost the game this season since being beaten on the opening day of the domestic league campaign by FUS Rabat. That was at the end of August. Since then, they've only had 5 domestic league games. And of course, they've been focused on their African Football League campaign for the last month, really. Since the October international break, they had the qualifying round in the Champions League as well, beating Hafia of Guinea to make it to the group stage. That will begin in a couple of weeks as the free kick is given Wydad's way. Another factor which we touched on plenty of times in the first half is the heat, of course, as the minutes tick by. All the energy expended will catch up with the players and make it harder for Wydad to chase the game. It's the challenge on Amin Abul Fat. Here is Anas Serhat. Brilliant goal he scored in the first leg in Casablanca last week, which gave Wydad the edge as they travelled here to South Africa. got themselves a first corner kick of the game.
Now they've Wydad have changed tactic. They are trying to play like the way they play at home with Mamelodi, trying to be a striker. He's always in front of the attack, and that is what he's trying to do now. Anytime they have the ball, he's the target man. He's the one who does it, and then they have a corner kick from him right now.
Swung in by Boussefian. There's the header. It's claimed by Ronwin Williams. Finally, after 58 minutes, we have an attempt on goal from Wydad. May just have been creeping in under the crossbar. It's not enough to beat Ronwin Williams, the man who saved a penalty here, or rather in Luanda against Petro in the first leg of the quarter-final, and in Cairo in the second leg of the semi-final. He's been brilliant in this competition, as have so many of these Sundowns players. Tembazvane with the shot over the bar.
And that is where Sundowns should be very, very careful. When you are playing with a team that cannot do anything with open play, they'll focus on set pieces. And that is where Sundowns should be very, very careful. It doesn't look good in terms of open play for Wydad. But when it comes to set pieces, they're going to give everything to make sure they get a goal. So Sundowns should be very, very careful when it comes to set pieces.
Of course, they've been stung in the recent past by Wydad. That draw here in the Champions League last season, which allowed Wydad to go through on away goals. Sundowns 3-2 up on aggregate in this final. What a gripping final it's been. The first leg last week to the return here today. Very different conditions in Pretoria. Wydad now looking to build something in open play. Saifeddin Bukra whips in the cross, a free header. Something should have come of that from a Wydad point of view. And it's another warning to Mamelodi Sundowns. The final half hour of this game may be very different to what has come before. Change in approach had to be made by the away team.
Now the away team have nothing to lose. They just want to attack because they are 2-0 down. They just want to attack. And for me, I don't think the approach of Sundowns has been very, very good. They shouldn't sit back. They should play normal. And hopefully they can even score more goals.
Here's Allende. Another goal for Sundowns would give them precious breathing space. Back it comes to Ronwin Williams. Allende. Wydad. About the rivalry that has developed on the African scene in the last few years between Mamelodi Sundowns and Al Ahly of Egypt. Well, these sides are developing a bit of a rivalry too. The more that they meet in different continental competitions. Sometimes the African champions in 2016, Wydad 3-time winners of the Champions League.
Sundowns look very satisfied with the 2-0, and I'm not I'm not feeling comfortable right now. You know, they should play their normal game to be more aggressive, try and get their third goal. But it looks like they're sitting back, and when you have a frustrating team, a team who wants to score, and then you give them that breathing space, then they're going to attack. Now it looks like the game is turning towards Wydad.
Well, it looks like Adil Ramsey is just in discussions with Hamdou El Houni. May see another attacking, creative player coming on for Wydad very shortly. Question is, do they completely change their tactical setup and throw on an extra attacker, or do they keep the same system and just try to play a different way? Certainly Haven't seen much of Abdullah Haimoud today, for example, in an attacking sense. Might they sacrifice him?
I'm sure Wydad will try to bring an offensive player. It shouldn't be very, very defensive. They need an offensive midfielder or a striker. The player coming on should be definitely an offensive player, unless any defensive player is injured or asked for a change or something, you know. So what they need right now is more offensive players.
Well, Al-Houni would give them that, the Libyan international, if he is to be the man coming on. Picked up by Amin Abul Fat. Atiat Allah looking to play early towards Sombu, and again you see the run being made forward by Ayoub El Amloud. Ronwen Williams just frantically telling his teammates to calm down. He doesn't seem too calm, but they have to. They've got another half an hour or so to see this out, and they would be well served if they were to go looking for another goal here. Must come a time where Sundowns need to consider a change themselves. Do have the likes of Maseko and Mayema on the bench who can offer something extra, something fresh in attack. Abul Fat. Offside flag comes up against Ayoub El Amloud. It's going to be a double change by the looks of it for Wydad Casablanca. Abdallah Haimoud is going to come off. Soufiane Anash will replace him.
Offensive midfielder.
Yeah, the Dutch winger. Signed for the club in August, and they're also taking off Hisham Boussefian as well.
Another offensive midfielder.
Yeah, El-Houni taking his place. Now El-Houni probably more likely to play through the middle behind Bulu Junior Sombu, with Anash on the left-hand side. See how that develops in a moment, because Sundowns are making their first change. And Lucas Ribeiro Costa, the Brazilian, his first appearance in this African Football League, ends after 65 minutes. Such strength in depth, of course, and Bongani Zungu, another South African international, comes on. And it's a more conservative change from Sundowns. Zungu will play a deeper role in midfield, just try to strengthen that department of the team, and Shalulile will be a little bit more alone up front with support from Tembazvani, this man on the ball now.
Exactly, that is a good call from both coaches. They did a very, very good change. Ramsey needed a goal. He brought offensive players, and then Sundowns needed to strengthen the midfield to make sure they keep their results, and he brought in a defensive midfielder. Good call from both coaches.
Abul Fat. One ball forward, and it might just fall there for Wydad player arriving in the penalty box. Hopeful appeals for a penalty. Waved away by the officials. Well, it looked like fairly innocent coming together, nothing more than that. Saifeddin Bukra was the Wydad player involved. Well, this is the incident, just the long ball flighted forwards. Helped on by Bulu Junior Sombu. And Boudou just standing his ground. Bukra running into him and ending up on the floor, and the referee not giving anything. He's going to start again with a drop ball, because He stopped the play while Ronwen Williams had it. Contested drop ball. Wydad have made 4 changes now as they try to change something out there. We are midway through the second half. Sundowns leading 2-0 on the day, 3-2 on aggregate. Modiba, man who got the second goal early in the second half here. Modiba striding forward again, skipping away from Abul Fat, heading towards the byline. He's got his team a corner. More complaints from the Wydad players. I think they feel that the last touch may have come off Modiba. We'll see from this angle. Modiba motoring towards the byline. I think they may have a point. Ayub El Amloud was the Wydad player. Came across the block. The corner has been given. Marcelo Allende will take it. The referee just having a word with some of these Wydad players at the moment. The protests continue, but they need to turn their focus towards defending the corner. Nothing that they can do now that it's been given. Now then, referee seen something else in the 6-yard box. It's the defenders keeping Sundowns forwards very close to them. The referee is just letting them know that any infringements are liable to be penalised. They have the VAR watching everything as well. Allende's in-swinging ball. Wydad trying to scramble it away. Eventually it's Bulu Junior Sombu with the emphatic clearance downfield.
What a great delivery in swing, and rather unfortunately he couldn't get his head to the ball, but it was a great delivery. If this had gone in, it would have been game over.
Nani Mokoena looking anxious, perched on the touchline. 20 minutes remaining plus stoppage time. There might not be as much stoppage time in this second half as we saw in the first half, as Nani Mokoena speaks to Tapelo Maseko. May well see Maseko coming on shortly. Not a bad player to be able to bring off the bench. We see the shot count, 6 attempts on goal from Sundowns, just 1 from Wydad. That was the header from the set-piece delivery a few moments ago, which was saved by Ronwen Williams. They just haven't done enough. Their approach to this game always indicated that they were willing to gamble on waiting until maybe the final 15-20 minutes before having to try to do something, hoping they could frustrate Sundowns for as long as possible. Well, they did that for 45 minutes. Then Sundowns got the goal at the end of the first half through Peter Shalulile, and Aubrey Modiba's second means that there is daylight between the teams, but one Wydad goal would make it 2-1 on the day, 3-3 on aggregate. That would mean extra time. Free kick is given. And all these breaks in play are not helping Wydad at the moment. Mokoena is the player who was caught that time.
It's been very, very frustrating for Wydad. You know, they need to just keep their heads up, play their normal game. They are trailing by 2-0. You know, so they have to just keep their composure, try and focus on getting a goal. And when you keep on doing that with a confidence team, a team who wants to win, a team who has got everything at their side right now, they'll keep delaying, they'll keep making fouls, and then it will end up being the same results or even getting a goal against Wydad. So I think Wydad team should just stay focused and focus on just getting the goal, not forgetting about defensive work though.
2 men in the wall for Wydad. Allende standing over the free kick. Mokoena again being urged to shoot from distance. That one well over the crossbar. Teboho Mokoena. Mentioned before that 8 Sundowns players in the South Africa squad for the start of their World Cup qualifying campaign. Mokoena, of course, is one of those. There are 3 Wydad players in the Morocco squad for the start of their World Cup qualifying campaign. They were meant to have 2 matches, but the first one against Eritrea will not take place because Eritrea have withdrawn from the World Cup qualifying campaign. Anash trying to feed it out to Hamdou El Houni on this near side. Harkas with the ball out to the left flank. Plenty of Wydad players waiting in the penalty box. Needs a good delivery though. Too much on that. A run behind for the goal kick. Bukra's ball comes to nothing for Adil Ramzi's team. That is better though in open play from Wydad. They are at least trying to create something.
Exactly, and it will be very, very important for Wydad. You know, football is all scored about open play. Although sometimes a team can be good in set pieces, but open play, you need to create chances, and they are beginning to do something. You know, it's been very, very difficult for them this afternoon, but at least they are beginning to get into the game to try to create something. They are sensing a sense of urgency right now. You know, so they have to just keep their composure and play to the end.
Svane. Zungu. Allende. It's nicely done. Bongani Zungu. Good football from the home team. Shalulile. Third goal now would surely wrap this up. Bongani Zungu trying to feed it through towards Mokoena. Away by El Moti. Does look like Mokoena has a bit more freedom to move forward now that Bongani Zungu has come on.
Exactly. I think that is the game plan. Although there are 2 defensive midfielders, but one has got the ability to go forward. So when you have this, you have one to watch your back, which is Zungu, to watch your back, and then you have somebody like Mokoena who have a very, very good drive. You know, he can go forward. As like the way he created the first goal, he's somebody who goes forward a lot when the going gets tough. You know, so it's a good call from Rolani Mokoena.
Another water break required. The shadows are getting longer, but still an energy-sapping day for these players. Just the size of the occasion takes it out of you. This was the opening goal. Mokoena's shot, and Shalulile following in to score the goal. The prolific Namibian making it 1-0 in first half stoppage time. And the final swinging in favour of Sundowns on away goals, and then Aubrey Modiba pouncing on a slack pass in the Wydad half of the field to run through and lift the ball over Youssef El Moti in goal. That made it 2-0 on the day. Aubrey Modiba, who has been very impressive in this competition. It's a goal that, as it stands, is set to give Sundowns the trophy, but Adil Ramzi's team still hoping to make something of this. Adil Ramzi, who won the Dutch title twice as a player with PSV. He was working on the coaching staff at PSV before taking a Wydad job earlier this year. He worked in the Dutch club's academy for 6 years and then was in charge of their under-21 team in the Netherlands before making a move to Morocco. He was born in Marrakesh, but a long career as a player in Europe. Restart with a Wydad throw. Serhat. Arcas. 2-0 from Mamelodi Sundowns, who played nearly 78 minutes the second leg of this final. Ball lifted forwards, knocked down by Ayoub El Amloud. There were no Wydad players there to get on the end of it. Shaloulile, nicely done. Just too much though for Aubrey Modiba. Dignitaries watching on. We'll of course have the trophy presentation at the end of the game today. The dignitaries will be down on the field for that. With the international break coming up on the other side of that, club action returns. These teams will turn their attentions to the start of the CAF Champions League campaign. Sundowns and Wydad involved in the group stages. Ball runs behind for the goal kick. Sundowns will be playing Pyramids of Egypt, Tout-Puissant Mazembe from the Democratic Republic of Congo, and a newcomer, FC Nouadhibou of Mauritania, in their Champions League group. Wydad up against Simba of Tanzania, of course made an impression in the African Football League, as well as ASEC Mimosas from the Ivory Coast, and Hwaneng Galaxy of Botswana, who might be one of the outsiders in the Champions League. Away by Abul Fat. Serhat, nicely done by the Wydad number 3. Tiat Allah. Cross pass intercepted by Moudou. Seeing less of Moudou getting forward that right-hand side in the second half now with Sundowns 2-0 up. They're playing a little bit more on the break. They might just get the chance here. Zvane to Allende. Allende couldn't pick out a pass. Zvane and Shaloulile in the middle. Sundowns' share of possession has come down quite a lot in the second half. Still 64% though. Wydad need to do more.
He decided to go for the midfield player instead of the striker, the one who has to finish. That was a wrong choice from the player. He should have gone for Shaloulile.
Yeah, Peter Shaloulile still on the field. Mokwena doesn't seem too concerned about his fitness, given that he's been out for a while. Saw him talking to Tapelo Maseko a little while ago. Just wonder if we might see Maseko coming on shortly.
It's a little Maseko doesn't need enough time. He just needs a bit of just a little time to be on the field to make sure he does the finishing touches. I don't think they need him right now because they are cruising. Last time he got a bit of knock, he got injured, you know. So you should keep him for the future. You don't have to take that risk to put him when you are leading, unless because he's a player of the tournament contender. So whenever he steps into the game, then he can win the best player of the tournament. For me, he's so far the best player of the tournament, in my opinion. That is when he gets onto the field.
Comes the cross and the header from Ayoub El Amloud. Towering header, but he couldn't keep it down, the Wydad captain. And he knows that at this level, in this situation, that was a chance. Up above Abdelmounaim Boutouil, no question of offside. Recriminations in the Sundowns defence as to why that high ball wasn't dealt with before it got to El Amloud. Bit of a let-off again. Belhamloud, by the way, is one of the Wydad players who've been called up to the Morocco squad. Their game against Eritrea called off. They will play away in Tanzania. We saw the Simba supporters in Dar es Salaam earlier in this African Football League, creating quite the atmosphere. Morocco can expect to play in front of a noisy and intimidating crowd when they head to Tanzania for that first World Cup qualifier. Can't imagine a scenario in which Morocco failed to qualify for the World Cup, given what they did in Qatar a year ago, given that there are now more places on offer to African teams with the expanded World Cup in 2026. Tension all around us. 7 minutes of the 90 remaining. Sundowns in the lead in this final. Wydad are still in it as they look for the goal and force extra time. The referee gives the decision the away side's way.
Marcelo is also having a brilliant afternoon. He's been running everywhere. He's the one who started the build-up. He's always everywhere to support, and he's running so much. He's having a very, very good game today.
Sayente was playing in Uruguay before moving to Sundowns at the beginning of last season. Sundowns preparing a double change, and Wydad preparing to make a fifth substitution. Sundowns player is down, needing treatment, and being helped onto the stretcher. Terence Mashego and Tapelo Maseko are the players who are getting ready to come on, and Aubrey Modiba, who got the all-important second goal here today, is the man being helped off the pitch. As Anas Serhat comes off for Wydad, they make their fifth change. It's Una Jem who replaces him. That's another positive move from Adil Ramzi. Mohamed Una Jem, who is a winger.
So it shows how bad they needed that goal. You know, bringing in offensive players. You know, sometimes you need to take a risk, and that is what Ramsey is doing. But it's a big gamble for him, because you have players who can keep the ball, like Mamelodi Sundowns, and when they break away, then you are in trouble. But I think he took the right decision. He took that risk because of that goal. He needed that goal, you know, so he can make mistakes and then consider go through a counter attack or something. But for me, he did the right call by bringing more offensive players just to get a goal.
Yes, it was time to gamble for Adil Ramzi. Sundowns trying to let the clock run down. Ronwen Williams getting a yellow card for indulging in some delaying tactics. Aubrey Modiba wants to get back on the field. Not sure if he'll get back on before Wydad take this free kick. Now he has been allowed to return to the pitch. Bukra against the cross in. Nervy moments for Sundowns in their penalty box. Timrazvane. Shalulile tried to help that on first time. Now they can maybe break forward here. Modiba was not really joined by any teammates. Cleared by El Moti. They need to keep cool heads here, Mamelodi Sundowns. They've been superb throughout this competition, but it's only natural that there are going to be some nervy moments now with so little time left and with one hand on the trophy effectively. Tired legs as well. Mokwena seems to have decided against rushing into the substitutions. The two players who were ready to come on, Mashego and Maseko, still standing on the touchline, stripped but not come on just yet.
I think it's a good decision by Rolani Makwena. He feels like Modiba was injured. He took outside. He went outside, so he had to make sure he does the right thing. So he's whether contemplating whether he brings on a midfielder or he should bring on an attacker. So yeah, sometimes substitution needs to be taken very, very carefully.
Does need to perhaps be careful because, of course, if Wydad did get a goal, everything would change. We'll be heading to extra time. He maybe needs to factor that into his thinking.
Yeah.
Possibility of having to play for an extra 30 minutes. Now they are going to make the substitutions, though. In fact, they're going to make a triple change. We're going to see Brian Onyango coming on. Peter Shalulile is being told to leave the pitch at the nearest point, as is the case these days. And a striker heading off to an ovation from the home fans, of course. Quite a return to the team for him today. Great goal, poacher's instinct to apply the finish in the first half. And Onyango, Kenyan international defender, takes his place. Gives you an idea of Sundowns' mindset now. So another yellow card is shown.
I don't think it's a good thing from the Sundowns player. You know, they have to keep their composure. The away team will try and frustrate you. They need more. They need to buy more time, so they'll try and do something so the referee add more time. So you are leading. You shouldn't respond to what their opponent is trying to do, because you are leading.
It was Temesvane, the captain really shouldn't be doing that, coming across and pushing over Unajem right in front of the referee, and he gets the yellow card for his troubles.
For me, Zwani was wrong. He shouldn't do that. He should be rather telling the players they are here to make sure they provoke us. So you are leading 2-0. Why do you have to go and then do that? You know, for me, I don't think it's a good thing Zwani did. That's so wrong from him.
The changes continue, and in fact that was Temesvane's last involvement in the game today. Tapelo Maseko, brilliantly exciting young forward who scored a superb goal here against Al Ahly in the semi-finals, comes on for him just to add some fresh legs in attack as we move into stoppage time. Allende's corner.
And that's him, Maseko. Now he's on. For me, he's a contender of the player of the tournament. He's been brilliant for this Sundowns team. He's the one who has been driving attack. Rather unfortunate he couldn't start this game due to injuries, but hey, for me he's very, very instrumental, very, very important for this Sundowns team.
Confirmation of the other change, a straight swap. Obri Modiba put in quite a shift, got that knock, it forced him to come off on the stretcher. He's being replaced by Terence Mashego. We're into 9 added minutes at the end of the 90 here. Quite remarkable after the 12 minutes in the first half. They're not there yet, Mamelodi Sundowns. They lead 2-0, 2 goals from just 3 attempts.
Yeah, they need to just finish the game, seal it. If they have another goal, that would be very, very good. But you cannot guarantee a victory if you are playing with a team that has been very, very dangerous in this competition, like Wydad.
One by Alam Lud is physical. Challenged by Zungu on Soufiane Anash, was penalised by the referee. Wydad have it again. They need to see this out. The Sundowns players, and it was Bully Junior Sombu who got something on that, not enough to divert it on target, but just a reminder for Mamelodi Sundowns that this final is not finished yet. If Wydad can get a goal in the next 7 minutes, then they'll have another 30 to try to win it.
This is what we were talking about. It's not over yet. You know, you have to just stay focused to the 90 minutes. You are leading 2-0, and you need to kill the game. Either you defend to make sure they don't score, or you get a goal to be at the safer side. The game is not over, and as you could see, Wydad nearly got a goal, and that would have changed everything.
Quite a weekend for football fans in South Africa. The Soweto derby yesterday. Orlando Pirates beating Kaizer Chiefs 1-0. Evidence Magopa with the only goal in the game in front of 80,000 fans, and packed house down the road here in Pretoria today. Mamelodi Sundowns supporters sensing that their team are on the verge of winning another title. Club who have been South African champions a record 13 times, including in each of the last 6 seasons and in 7 of the last 8 campaigns. Ball flighted forward. Wydad need to take the direct approach. Bulu Junior Sombu looking hopefully to the referee, wanting the free kick. It's a big physical presence. Sombu, nothing was given. And Ronwen Williams again will choose to take his time here. He's already on a yellow card, of course. He needs to be a little bit careful.
Yeah, he needs to be a bit careful right now, but I don't think he really cares that. He can even take the yellow card and try and delay. All they need is the cup. They have to do everything to win the cup. They are dominating. Wydad doesn't look that dangerous in this recent 10 minutes. And for me, I think Sundowns deserve everything. Football God can change everything, you know, but they have to just stay focused. But hey, you cannot take Wydad out of this tournament. They have to play to the end.
Thumped away by Butuil. The up and under. It's an awkward one for Marcas, the Wydad defender. Anash. Ball will be shepherded behind for the goal kick, and Sundowns supporters can breathe again for a few more seconds. Big shift from Motobi Mvala at the back today for Sundowns, a player who was sent off in the second leg of the quarter-final here against Petro of Luanda. One of the big calls made by Rulani Mokoena today was to replace his 2 central defenders, Grant Kekana, came off just before half-time in the first leg last weekend, not involved today. And Rivaldo Kotze, who scored the own goal, of course, and put Wydad in front in the first leg, not involved today either. Vala coming back in, and Musa Lebusa starting too. Such great strength and depth in this Sundowns squad, of course, the finest squad in South African football. And seen North African teams dominate in continental competition in recent years. Moroccan clubs have had great success. Al Ahly, of course, the most successful team in the history of the CAF Champions League. We've seen Tunisian teams doing very well too on the continental scene, and often it's been a source of frustration for South African clubs, and in particular Mamelodi Sundowns, who've gone far but not quite far enough. But looks like this is to be their day. If they can just hold on for 3 more minutes, they'll be the winners of the first ever African Football League.
And I'm so impressed the way they are still pressing to the end. You know, although they are leading 2-0, they were able to press the ball, and then Wydad started making mistakes, and now they have a throw-in. Now they are in control of the game.
He will be nervous. Rulani Mokoena pacing back and forth in his technical area.
He should be proud of his boys right now. You know, he's done an incredible job. For me, he deserves everything he's having right now. And hey, kudos to him. The way they are playing, the way they are pressing when they have the ball, the composure. You could see he has influence in the players. A 36-year-old coach who has been very, very instrumental in this setup of this Sundowns team has been incredible, and he should be proud of these boys. He should be proud of himself as a great manager who is trying to build up his future. I think for me, he's one of the best coaches we have in Africa right now. The way his style, the way he's playing, the way he's able to groom the team with his personality and everything. Ronnie McQueen has done an incredible job if they win this competition.
Time then for another change. Marcelo Allende, who's put in a superb shift today, will make way for Lebohang Maboe for the final 90 seconds or so. At least that's the plan. Another yellow card is brandished here. I think it's for Mudau. He's complaining that the Wydad players are not far enough back. As Marcelo Allende takes a lap of honour as he returns to the Sundowns bench. Confirmation of the yellow card for Kuliso Mudau. We are going to go beyond the allotted 9 minutes of added time. We had 13 in the end in the first half. It's going to be more like 10 at the end of the second half. Thibaut Mokoena has the captain's armband now that Timbazvane has gone off.
I don't think he really cares about the yellow cards because he needs to buy time. He needs to make sure they get a trophy. There's the trophy on their mind, and it's a new competition, African Football League, and they will go to the books. They will be the first African team to win the African Football League, and it's a great achievement for Mamelodi Sundowns if they win it.
Well, they can sense that they are nearly there. Allende embracing his manager and his teammates. We're all standing in the technical area. So much nervous energy. Eventually this game is going to restart for about 90 seconds more. Another yellow card is shown.
I think the referee is going to add another 1 minute or two. You can see the frustration. They are a bit worried upstairs right now. You are leading. You should play to the end. And when you make the referee add another time, it can change something. So for me, I don't think what Sundowns is doing is more advisable. And you are dominating the game. They shouldn't try and play this kind of tactics. There you see one player trying to criticize Mudau for what he has done right now. And for me, they should play to the end. And there you go.
Well, Ronnie Mokoena is not happy.
He's not.
Been waiting for a couple of minutes to properly restart the action. Confirmation that Tapelo Maseko picked up a yellow card as well. Eventually, play will restart, I promise you. We might end up having more added time in the second half than we did in the first half.
Exactly, and it doesn't look good. Although the Sundowns are dominating, they want to play that tactic, they want to buy time. And for me, the referee is going to add another 2 or 3 minutes.
They're not there yet. Wydad have a free kick themselves now. Arcas will take this. Mokoena was booked as well. 3 Sundowns players cautioned. All for dissent, I think. As the ball is flighted into the penalty box, dealt with by the Sundowns defence. It comes to Bukra. Zungu's there again. Once more, it's headed clear. It's now or never for Wydad Casablanca. Beaten finalists in the CAF Champions League last season. Forward by El Moti. It's going to come all the way into the arms of Ronwyn Williams, who holds it at the second attempt. The referee just calling for Cam. When all that time added on in the first half because of the spoiling tactics really of the Wydad players, who were just trying to disrupt play as much as possible. Not quite sure how we've ended up with more stoppage time in the second half, but finally the full-time whistle goes and Mamelodi Sundowns have done it. They are the winners of the first ever African Football League. They have beaten Wydad Casablanca here today by 2-0 to win 3-2 on aggregate. And look at what it means to Rulani Mokoena and his players. There are tears down there, I think. They cannot contain their emotion. It's a huge achievement for Mamelodi Sundowns. The South African champions are the winners of the African Football League.
They deserve everything. They deserve every bit of this celebration, especially Rulani Mokoena. There you can see in tears right now. He's really worked tirelessly for this team to achieve this aim. Hey, he deserves everything. Every praises go to Rulani Mokoena and then the Sundowns team. They deserve everything in this competition. In the beginning of the competition, I predicted Sundowns are favorites of this competition. The way they are playing and the way they play, the way they move and everything. Hey, they deserve everything in this competition.
Yes, it's a sophisticated footballing philosophy. Rulani Mokoena has introduced the Mamelodi Sundowns. It's brought them relentless success domestically. Over the last few years, of course, it was even before Mokoena took charge. They were the dominant club in South Africa. They've fallen short in the Champions League a number of times in recent years, but they have got their reward in the African Football League. They were too strong for Petro of Luanda in the quarter-finals. They edged out Al Ahly in a bit of a nervy semi-final, and they have edged out Wydad Casablanca in the final after a 2-1 defeat in Morocco last week. They were simply the better team here today in the second leg. Wydad just never really got going, never really offered anything in an attacking sense today, and you have to say, Asamoah, that they only really have themselves to blame for the way they played in the first half. They just couldn't really get out of that and open up and start to create anything. Even with all the attacking players they threw on in the second half, it never really looked like happening for them.
Exactly, that they should have themselves to be blamed the way they played in the second half. And the most very sad thing is they gave the goal away in the second half, and then they conceded a goal. It looks like Sundowns didn't work their way through. They were able to give the goal away. Even before the goal, they made a mistake, and then they did it again. You know, that is the sad part of the game. But for me, Wydad didn't approach the game very well from the first half. They didn't create any chances. They didn't try to do anything in open play. And hey, Sundowns deserves everything.
Shalulile and Modiba with the goals on the day. 2-0 from Mamelodi Sundowns, and 3-2 they win on aggregate against Wydad Casablanca. So the Mamelodi Sundowns players, well, letting the celebrations begin. Wild celebrations for them, and disappointment for Wydad Casablanca. We will hope to hear from some of the actors pitch side very shortly, the managers and some of the players themselves, as we see Peter Shalulile, who came back into the Sundowns team today and got the all-important opening goal in first half stoppage time.
Shishi, a huge congratulations. You are the official champions of the African Football League. You've done it in front of your fans. How does it feel to be the champions?
It feels good. It feels good. I'm running out of weight, especially when we win it in front of our fans. I mean, that's what we wanted as a team, and we are happy.
And I mean, you're doing it in front of your fans. You are the inaugural champions of this particular competition. It was tough when you went to Morocco. How did it feel just seeing the sea of yellow fans cheering you on to the victory?
Yeah, we know for sure when they come in numbers, they give us that oomph, man. I mean, they are amazing. I mean, we appreciate their support. We always love them. I mean, when we see them happy, we're also happy.
And I mean, for you personally, you are officially a champion of an African competition. Personally, how does this feel for you, Mshishi?
It feels great, especially being a captain of the team. And I would just like to thank the opportunity that the technical team gave me, and thank all the support from my teammates. Yeah.
Congratulations once again, Mshishi, and all the best.
Thank you.
Yes, delight for everybody involved with Mamelodi Sundowns. The reaction will continue pitch side, and the trophy presentation coming up as well as the Sundowns fans enjoy their moment. African champions in 2016, and winners now of the inaugural African
Peter,
Football
huge
League.
Congratulations, you are the champions of the African Football League. How does this feel?
Well, I would like to thank God first for making this opportunity possible. You know, God is not a God of years, but a God of seasons. Throughout the seasons, we have been trying to get the trophy. Finally, He gave it to us. Wonderful experience, good teammates, good team, a good day. We glorify Him, and thank you guys for this amazing, amazing, amazing cup.
Congratulations, Peter, and all the best.
Thank you so much.
Coach Rulani, an emotional day. You are officially the champions of the African Football League. What is going through your head right now?
Congratulations to this amazing group of players. I'm just very lucky to be their coach. And congratulations to Mamelodi Sundowns, and congratulations.
And coach, I mean, you did it the hard way. You went to Morocco. You came here with a very narrow deficit, but now you've actually done it in front of your fans, 50,000 packed supporters. What is the emotion for you right now?
It's for the fans, it's for the Yellow Nation, it's for this magnificent group of players. It's for our chairman. Unbelievable support he's always given to me. It's Gaston. It's for you guys, it's for the technical staff, Coach Mangoa, Coach Wendell, Coach Michael, and then this magnificent group of players. Congratulations to everybody.
And coach, just on a personal note for you, what does this mean for you personally, achieving such an amazing achievement?
It's difficult to talk. The conditions are very difficult, but God is good and God loves us all.
Thank you, coach, and congratulations once again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
An emotional Rulani Mokoena, and understandably struggling to contain that emotion. These Sundowns players enjoying their moment. Will continue to take the acclaim of the home supporters who packed into the stadium here. As Rulani Mokoena said, congratulations to his players, and we have to say congratulations to them as well, because they have been a joy to watch over the last couple of weeks in this competition. Might not have always been entirely free-flowing. They had the 0-0 draw in the second leg against Al Ahly, the goalless draw against Petro of Luanda in the second leg of the quarter-final. They've had to dig in at times, and when they've played their game, they've been really, really impressive to watch. And Asamoah, quickly, I know that you've thoroughly enjoyed watching them too.
Exactly, I enjoyed watching it. If you see where they are coming from the beginning of this competition, they've been through adversaries, everything, you know, difficult moment, but they've been able to stick to the way they play, and coming to the final with that pressure and everything, no doubt about what Rolando Makwela said. You know, he's lucky to have this set group of players. You know, he was a caretaker. They gave the job to him, and looking at where he come from, you could see how emotional he is. So kudos to everybody, kudos to their fans, all the club, and it was a great achievement from Mamelodi Sundowns.
60% possession they had on the day, 8 attempts on goal to just 3 for Wydad Casablanca. They deserved the win on the day and over the 2 legs as well. The second leg of the African Football League final in Pretoria in the blazing sunshine today. Mamelodi Sundowns needing to overturn a 2-1 deficit from the first leg. They were frustrated throughout the first half by their Moroccan visitors, but then the breakthrough came in stoppage time at the end of the half. Tabo Mokwena's shot palmed away by Youssef El Moti, the goalkeeper, but Peter Shalulile was there on hand to convert the rebound. The Namibian hotshot returning after injury, his first appearance for Sundowns in this African Football League, and he got the all-important breakthrough. And then the second goal arriving early in the second half. The loose ball intercepted by Aubrey Modiba. And the South African international running through to finish with great composure past El Moti, to the delight of Rulani Mokwena. That made it 2-0 on the day, 3-2 on aggregate. Really well taken goal. And after this moment, well, Wydad needed to come out in search of a goal that would level the final on aggregate once again. They never really threatened the Sundowns defence, and the home team saw the game out. There was a couple of nervy moments. That header from Ayoub El Amloud over the crossbar was about as close as Wydad Casablanca came. The team that lost the CAF Champions League final last season, beaten in the inaugural African Football League final as well. Mamelodi Sundowns the winners, 3-2 on aggregate. Just a reminder of how they did it. Mamelodi Sundowns getting past Petro of Luanda in the quarter-final, and then they ended up playing the Egyptian giants Al Ahly in the semis. Al Ahly who'd edged out Simba of Tanzania, and then Sundowns beating Wydad Casablanca in the final. We're going to have the awards coming up. Of course, the trophy presentation to Mamelodi Sundowns, and also the awards handed out for the best player, best goalkeeper, and the other prizes to be dished out at the end of this inaugural African Football League, which has fascinated us over the last few weeks. We look forward to the next edition, of course, coming up, and Sundowns will be defending their title. Before that, in a couple of weeks, they'll begin their assault on the CAF Champions League. They will resume their defence of the South African title as well. So the trophy is being brought out, the presentation about to begin. The Sundowns fans are not going anywhere as they wait to see their players raise the silverware aloft. Trophy brought out by JJ Kocha, and Sundowns players waiting patiently to come and collect their medals.
Medals and trophies led by FIFA President Mr. Gianni Infantino and their President Dr. Patrice Motsepe.
Dignitaries led by the FIFA President Gianni Infantino and the CAF President Patrice Motsepe. Here they come now. Gianni Infantino and Patrice Motsepe leading the dignitaries out onto the podium.
Fans of the African Football League 2023, presented by Visit Rwanda. The best fans of the African Football League 2023 are Tanzania's Simba FC.
The first award is the award for the best fans, given to the supporters of Simba of Tanzania.
Now it's the moment to award the best goalkeeper of the African Football League 2023, presented by Visit Saudi. The goalkeeper award of the African Football League goes to Sundowns number 30, Ronwen Williams.
It will not surprise anybody to see Ronwen Williams collect the award for the best goalkeeper of the African Football League. He was superb throughout, of course, two huge penalty saves, one against Petro Atletico of Luanda in the first leg of the quarter-final, and another one, a massive one, in the second leg of the semi-final against Al Ahly in Cairo. Didn't have too much to do today, to be honest, but there can be no doubt that Ronwen Williams is a worthy winner of this award.
He's been excellent in this African Football League since day one. He's been able to keep Sundowns throughout the tournament, and he deserves everything. And the most surprising thing is he knows how to play football as well. So he's an all-round goalkeeper, very complete goalkeeper, and very, very good goalkeeper. He deserves it.
Of the African Football League 2023, presented by Visit Saudi. The top scorer of the African Football League 2023 is Sundowns number 33, Tapelo Maseko!
So the top scorer award going to Tapelo Maseko. It's a very impressive tournament. Scored against Petro in the quarter-final, and scored that brilliant goal here against Al Ahly in the semi-final as well. Only used off the bench late on today. He's been such an important player for Sundowns in the last few weeks.
Yeah, Maseko came on as a sub in their first game against Simba. He came on and he did what he had to do. Not against Simba, he came on as a substitute, scored goal, remaining to the team, and then since then he has been very, very influential in this team. He deserves this award.
The most valuable player of Sundowns number 33, Tapelo Maseko!
And the same man told not to go away anywhere because he is also the MVP of this African Football League, Tapelo Maseko. A player who I think we're going to see an awful lot of in the months and years to come. A brilliant talent, one who Sundowns will hope to keep hold of, that's for sure.
He's been very, very brilliant in African Football League. He deserves everything. We said it before. He came on as a substitute, and since then he got into the team, did everything for them. Well, it's rather unfortunate he had an injury in the last game, but hey, he deserves everything. Maseko, great talent, young player, and we wish him luck in the near future.
And now let's welcome the officials of the African Football League 2023 final match.
Match officials coming up to collect their medals, and Tapelo Maseko leaving with his awards. He's going to be weighed down on the way home tonight, given all his medals and prizes. A player who just turned 21 yesterday as well, Tapelo Maseko. Outstanding talent. Busy day for the referee of the final today, Jean-Jacques Gombo Indala. Quite a lot of work to do in a final which stretched on even without extra time. We had combined 26 minutes added, 13 minutes in each half in the end. And his assistants in Cameroon and Mozambique, as well as the VAR team, officials from Kenya and Tunisia.
Gentlemen, and now let's welcome and the medal awards of the runner-up champions of the African Football League 2023.
Before Sundowns collect their trophy, Wydad Casablanca will come up to collect their runners-up medals. Familiar story for them, beaten in the CAF Champions League final last season, runners-up in the Moroccan League last season, and now with Adil Ramzi in charge, beaten in the final of the African Football League as well. outstanding players in that Wydad team. Of course, they had the 2-1 win in the first leg last weekend. They missed the presence of their skipper Yaya Jabran here today after he picked up that booking in the first leg. The Moroccan international midfielder, such an important player for them. It's a very talented team, of course. Mentioned it during the game. Wydad with 3 players called up by Walid Regragui for the next Morocco squad for the World Cup qualifying campaign, which is about to get underway. Yaya Atiat Allah and Ayoub El Amloud and Yaya Jabran will all be heading off to join up with the squad in the next couple of days to prepare for their first World Cup qualifier in Tanzania. Squad with a sprinkling of foreign players as well, not least Bouli Junior Sambou, the Senegalese striker who we saw come off the bench for the second half today. Didn't manage to turn the game around. Chance for the Mamelodi Sundowns players finally to come forward and collect their winners' medals. They have a large and very impressive squad under Rulani Mokoena. They're led by Kuliso Mudau, so impressive as the right back. Their injured players are there as well. Patrice Motsepe, of course, knows so many of these players very well indeed. They get their medals from Gianni Infantino. Teboho Mokoena, who was outstanding as ever in midfield today. Lucas Ribeiro Costa, the Brazilian who came in for his first appearance in the African Football League in the second leg of the final. There is Rulani Mokoena. Skipper Temba Zwane behind him. Rulani Mokoena has been soaked by, I presume it's beer, but it might be something else, champagne possibly. So many really impressive players, Asamoah, in this Mamelodi Sundowns team. Of course, they've got the CAF Champions League campaign to come, and they've got the South African title to defend. I guess one question is, can they keep hold of all these outstanding players going forward? Because a lot of clubs outside of Africa, I think, will be starting to look at some of these players and maybe think we could do with some of them in our team.
Yeah, I think so. They've done an incredible job. Of course, teams will be looking up to them. This is the time you have to go out from your comfort zone, you know, to have the new challenge. And I wish these players well. They have incredible players. They've had a great tournament. The pressure is going to be on them individually as a team, because any team that is playing against Sundowns now will be coming 100%. You know, so that is where the challenge is. It's very easy to get to the top, but the maintenance, how to maintain it, is the huge task.
Well, they are used to getting their hands on trophies these days. The reigning South African champions, 6 times in a row they've won the South African title, and now they have the African Football League as well. A sprinkling of South American stardust. Marcelo Allende is the last one to get his medal, with the Chilean flag draped around his shoulders. And then comes Temba Zwane, the captain, the veteran. He's nearly as old as his manager, Rulani Mokoena, who is a young coach, and another one who Sundowns will be eager to keep hold of for as long as possible. Temba Zwane will raise the trophy aloft. Mamelodi Sundowns are the winners of the inaugural African Football League.
Ladies and gentlemen, the champions of the African Football League 2023, Mamelodi Sundowns!
A delight for them that they can celebrate the occasion with their own fans here in Pretoria. Terrific crowds inside the Loftus Versfeld Stadium today. Ronwen Williams getting his hands on the cup. He's been superb in goal for the Brazilians in the last couple of weeks, the best goalkeeper of the competition. And they will set off on their victory lap in just a moment. Players down there, including those who didn't get off the bench today, the likes of Gaston Sirino. Become used to dominating at home, Mamelodi Sundowns, but at African level there have been some disappointing defeats in recent years in the Champions League, but they have put that all behind them today, winning the African Football League. And Rulani Mokoena was so emotional at full time, and now taking the acclaim of his staff and the players as well. Terrific achievement for him. His team play fantastic football. And you have to say, Asamoah, as you've already said, they are worthy winners of this trophy.
Yeah, they deserve to be winners. You know, the way they've played as a team. You could see, as we said earlier, Ronaldo Mokoena has influence in them. You know, any coach who wants to make his team play like the way he wants, and that is what we're seeing right now. They deserve everything, and then hey, kudos to them. And I'm happy to watch a team like Sundowns playing good football in this African Football League.
Well, now they set off on their victory lap. We stop for one more photograph first. Abdelmounaim Boutouil is enjoying raising the trophy aloft, the Moroccan. So we're going to leave you with these scenes of celebration on the pitch at the Loftus Versfeld Stadium in Pretoria. Sheer joy for Mamelodi Sundowns and their manager Rulani Mokoena. They are the winners of the inaugural African Football League after beating Wydad Casablanca here in the final today.